In the golden haze of memory, the Wild West seems like a place of freedom, adventure, and dusty duels at high noon. But the real story is far less romantic. Tonight, let's travel back to the 1870s, beyond the myths of Hollywood, and step into the raw, unforgiving world of the American frontier. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and listen to a time when survival meant grit, dirt, and endurance. Life on the frontier began before sunrise. Settlers awoke to bitter cold or scorching heat. Water was scarce. Bathing was rare. Soap, when it existed, was made by hand. Every day was a battle to survive, from hauling water and chopping wood to preparing meals that were simple and barely nutritious. Salted pork, beans, bread, monotonous and lacking essential nutrients. Many suffered from scurvy, and health was fragile. Doctors were few, hospitals non-existent. Medical care was primitive and often more harmful than helpful. Bloodletting, mercury treatments, and folk remedies were common. Women often acted as midwives, nurses, and healers, even when the odds were against them. Isolation defined the frontier, but it was far from empty. It was a complex mix of cultures and peoples: Native Americans, African Americans, Chinese workers, Mexican vaqueros, and European immigrants, all trying to carve out a life. Discrimination and exploitation were common, and while communities crossed paths, they rarely found equality. Think the Wild West was all duels and dusty glory? Hollywood got it wrong. What came next wasn't glamorous. It was violent, confusing, and often completely unfair. Stay with us, because the real story is just getting started. Violence was common, not choreographed like in the movies. Gunfights were sudden, impulsive, and usually sparked by alcohol or petty disputes. Many towns banned guns, but outside the borders, justice came fast, and often unjustly. Sheriffs were spread thin, and vigilante justice was routine. Women bore a heavy burden on the frontier. They ran farms, raised children, chopped wood, defended homesteads, and sometimes ran businesses or worked as teachers. With few legal rights, no vote, and limited freedom, they nevertheless carved space for strength. Some turned to prostitution for survival, a dangerous trade with little safety. Others built communities and found leadership roles in times of crisis. The work itself was grueling. Mining promised riches, but often ended in sickness or early death. Ranching was unstable, threatened by stampedes and storms. Farming tested human limits, fighting droughts, pests, and loneliness. Meanwhile, the land suffered. Bison were hunted to the brink of extinction. Forests vanished. Rivers were choked with mine runoff. Yet even in this hostile world, people came together. Neighbors helped each other build barns, dig wells, and harvest crops. Community wasn't just ideal, it was essential. Despite the myth of rugged individualism, survival required cooperation. As the true frontier faded, myths took its place. Dime novels sold stories of clean-shaven heroes and fast-draw justice. Buffalo Bill packaged the West into a traveling show, and Hollywood followed, replacing complexity with legend. These tales gave Americans a comforting story, but they erased the hardship, the loss, the diverse voices. They hid the quiet endurance. In truth, the Wild West wasn't made by heroes. It was built by the ordinary and the exhausted, by people who endured. Through dust storms, hunger, isolation, and violence, they adapted, they built. And that, perhaps, is the greatest story of all. Sleep well, and remember, history is not always what it seems.